And welcome back. The life and work of a very famous and well-loved Missourian is being featured in a PBS documentary tonight. It's author Laura Ingalls Wilder. And here to talk about it is the curator over at the Wilder Home and Museum in Mansfield, Missouri, Tana Redmond, and director Nicholas Inman. Welcome, you guys.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah, it's good to have you here. Now, this is an American Masters special. This is going to be really interesting. It marks the 85th anniversary of the publication of Little House on the Prairie. How did this come about? When did the crew come to town?
They came last year during Wilder Days. They filmed for 3 days while they were in town.
And they've been traveling the country interviewing directors of other sites, those who had connections through their own work with Mrs. Wilder. And so they've really put together a fantastic documentary.
Well, I am very, very eager to see it. Are either of you in this production?
I am briefly.
Okay.
They did some informal interviews, so.
Well, you know, she has such a storied history here in the Ozarks, and you know, it's something that we are so proud of, and people come from all over the world. Were you, I'm assuming you weren't at all surprised when you heard PBS was coming to town?
No.
We were very excited, of course, and felt that Mrs. Wilder certainly is worthy of such a program, and we're excited to see the reaction from around the world. But you're exactly right. You know, when you look at our visitors every year, of course, we have visitors from coast to coast, but we have so many international visitors, especially we missed them this year.
I believe we had 39 countries last year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mrs.
very
Wilder
cool.
Huge following in Japan. A lot of people do not realize after the Second World War, General MacArthur sent Mrs. Wilder's books to the children of Japan to teach them about westward expansion and our history. So there are huge fan clubs in Japan, and it's so much fun to watch our international visitors visit here at Rocky Ridge.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt. And I understand that this documentary is kind of the story behind the story, because there's a lot having to do with the daughter, Rose. So I get the feeling that people who view this documentary are going to learn a lot of things about Laura Ingalls Wilder that maybe they never knew.
I think a lot of people don't even know she had a daughter.
Yeah. And in fact, Rose was famous in her own right and was actually a larger known personality than Mrs. Wilder at one time.
Yeah, it's things like that that I think people will take away from this with a whole new appreciation. And I understand there are some pretty famous voices that are a part of this documentary. If I understand correctly, Victor Garber narrates. Tess Harper, who's originally from Arkansas, reads Laura Ingalls Wilder. Amy Brenneman, who we've watched on TV and in movies for years. And as you mentioned, there are interviews with a biographer, some other authors, people from the TV series. So this is going to be an interesting and a very fulfilling thing for people in the Ozarks to see. And of course, we have the Wilder home here. And as you alluded to, hasn't been quite the year that everybody wanted with COVID and what have you. Where are we at the home? You're closed currently, but back open in spring?
Yes.
March 1st.
March 1st, yes. Our season runs March to November, so we are in our downtime right now, but we did watch visitors drop significantly in numbers, mainly because of the lack of international visitors, and then we weren't able to welcome school children from all over the Ozarks, which has become a yearly tradition for so many schools. So we really missed those visitors this year. You know, it's special to welcome people to Rocky Ridge, and we've had challenges meeting some of the requirements this year, but we really worked together. Our staff was a great team, and we had a safe environment for people to visit and to learn about Mrs. Wilder and to carry on those yearly traditions of visiting here at Rocky Ridge.
Well, I have a feeling once this airs, that's going to change dramatically. And again, the documentary is called Laura Ingalls Wilder, Prairie to Page. It airs tonight on Ozarks Public Television. Tana Redmond and Nicholas Inman, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joy.